Hi, my friends. Welcome back to Money Breath Magic, where we talk all things money around here: strategy, mindset, nervous system. And we are in the middle of a 4-part series where I am taking you through how to heal your relationship with money. If you didn't catch the first 2 parts, go back and listen to those because we are building on them every single episode. In the first episode, we chatted about your relationship with money, how it relates to and mirrors back your relationship with yourself. Juicy one. And then in the last part, I took you through the 4 money patterns that I see over and over and over again with the clients that I work with, and how you can unpack your own money story, recognize your own money patterns. And now we are getting into the meat and potatoes of how to actually shift them. And if you're new here, my name's Sue Ellen. I'm a CPA, I'm a breathwork and somatics facilitator, a money coach, and I'm a Reiki practitioner. So I look at money holistically. After 15 years in corporate finance, I know the strategy, the ins and outs of what you need to actually do to facilitate money, but it's so much deeper than that. I know that mindset and the nervous system are just as important if we want to create wealth, and wealth that we can actually hold and expand in our business and life. So let's get started. So real quickly, let's recap the 4 money patterns that I see over and over again with the business owners and the clients that I work with. Number 1 is they feel like money is never enough. No matter how much they generate in their business and life, it always feels like it's not enough. Number 2, they have a fear of spending or feel guilty when they do spend because they are fearful that the money will not come back to them. Number 3 is they underprice their services because they aren't actually valuing the service and the work that they actually provide to the world. And then number 4 is they avoid their numbers like the plague. This shows up over and over again. Business owners avoiding their numbers out of fear, anxiety, overwhelm, what have you. So now let's talk about how are we going to break through these 4 patterns and shift them once and for all. Number 1, the feeling of it not being enough. And why is this important? I have worked with business owners who are making tons and tons of money in their business, profitable, and it still feels like it's not enough. The thing is, it has nothing to do with the amount of money that they're making in their business. It has everything to do with their nervous system and their relationship to money. And so we want to heal this aspect of us, because if we never feel like it's enough, we're going to be constantly chasing more and more and more. And we will never have the feeling of safety within ourselves to feel safe with what we do have. A big part of the problem is even knowing and defining what enough is. And so that's step 1. It was like, what actually is enough? And I think with entrepreneurs, a lot of the time, like we always set these like vanity milestone goals. It's always like, oh, we're chasing, first it's 10K months. And then it's like, oh, now I want 20K months and 50K months. And I want to hit $1 million a year. And it's like, okay, cool. That's great. But why? Is that enough? And so the first thing is, let's get clear on what exactly is enough. What is enough? Meaning, how much profit do we need to be generating from our business, cash flow that we get to pay to ourselves as owners pay, owners draw? What does that number need to be? And it's looking at, what are my values? What are important to me? For me, it's having freedom and flexibility to be able to travel the world and go where I want and live where I want. It's being able to invest in my health and my wellness. I like to go to the gym or go to Pilates. I like to invest in supplements and functional testing and taking care of my body to be my healthiest self so I feel my best. So it's getting clear on what do you value in your life, making sure that we're planning to have enough for those things. And maybe that means we need to cut in areas that aren't important to us. And so what this looks like is laying out in a spreadsheet and saying, okay, obviously we have our fixed costs to live. You have your rent, you have your utilities, maybe you have a car payment, maybe you have credit card debt that you're paying off or some other personal loan that you need to pay down. So you want to list out all of your fixed expenses. And then for me, my enoughness would be filling in like what I expect to need for travel and how much I want to spend on airfare and hotels and living abroad and how much my health testing is. And none of this is perfect, right? We're just trying to get an idea of what that enough number is. I think so often as entrepreneurs, again, we're just chasing these vanity metrics and feeling like we have to keep up with the Joneses. And it's not to say that we don't want to aspire to grow our business to massive levels and have massive impact. But you see all the time, there's like these entrepreneurs out there who cannot stop working, who are constantly pushing, constantly trying to achieve the next thing. And it's like they have so much money, multi-million-dollar businesses, multiple of them. And it's like they're never satisfied. It's never enough. And you hear about them like not actually being happy and fulfilled in their life. That's why this is so important, is understanding what is enough for your life. Ramit Sethi defines this as my rich life. What does your rich life look like? Again, mine's traveling, health and wellness. Maybe yours is being able to eat out at like Michelin star restaurants. Maybe you're a foodie and that's like part of your rich life. Maybe your rich life is having your time and flexibility to go to all of your kids' school dances or functions or field trips. Maybe your rich life is you get to go to Broadway shows or whatever it is that's important to you. You get to define what you value, what's important for you, and that gets to be your enough number. All right, and then the second pattern that we talked about is the fear of spending or guilt of spending, because there's fear that that money is not going to come back. We've touched on this a little bit, but money is energy and money is meant to circulate. It's meant to come in and it's meant to go out. And so what happens is if we have a fear of spending, that is coming from lack, that is coming from scarcity, because we are fearful that that money will not flow back in. Because money is energy and it flows like a currency, the problem is whenever we block that flow, so we block money from moving, meaning that we block the flow of spending, we are also blocking the money to keep coming back in. You can think about it as breathing. As you breathe in, the money flows in, and you breathe out and the money goes out. If you breathe in and you hold your breath, you're blocking the flow of your breath to circulate through your body. It's the same way with money. And so when we come from this guilt or this fear that the money is not going to come back to us and we're living in this state of scarcity, law of attraction states that is what's going to be reflected in our external reality. So we have to become comfortable feeling safe with actually spending and circulating money. The way to think about spending is it an even value exchange? And so I think a lot of times people that I work with and interact with is they look at spending as a loss. Like I'm losing something. It's an energetic loss to me. Instead, we need to be looking at it as a value exchange. That's all it is. When you are selling something in your business, you are offering value to someone who wants to purchase that service or that product from you. It is a value exchange. I'm charging $100 for my service. They are getting $100 in value in return. It is the exact same thing when you are purchasing. And so when we start looking at purchasing, the way that we start shifting this is we start looking at, okay, am I in alignment with the value that I'm receiving in exchange for whatever I'm purchasing? This morning, when I went and got my coffee so I could record 5 YouTube videos, I totally was on board with the $6 value exchange that I received back from that coffee. And then in addition, when we're like spending money and circulating money, the way that I always tell my clients is we need to have gratitude for a number of reasons. When we are approaching spending with gratitude, we're in a state that I am so thankful. Thank you, God. Thank you, universe, that I actually have the $6 to purchase this coffee. I am so grateful that I have the money in my bank account to pay my rent. I'm so grateful that I have the money that I can actually afford these utilities. Come from a state of gratitude that you actually have the abundance in your life to purchase these things. And then what I also love to remind people of is the ripple effect. Can we actually get in the heart and think about the ripple effect that we are having when we are actually spending money on rent, for example? So when I am purchasing and paying for my monthly rent, instead of saying, oh my God, rent is so expensive, this is so annoying, this isn't worth it, like everything's gone up. No. How can we flip that and think about the ripple effect that me spending that money is going to have? That money is going to the landlord, that's going to go to his family, that is helping him pay for his own housing, for his groceries, for maybe his kids' school, for his car, for him to live. And it's anything that you purchase. You purchase your utilities, that's going to the workers who are servicing the light poles, who are coming and fixing stuff in the ground, who are working at the power company. It's like, it is funding people's lives. And so it's whenever we spend, instead of coming from this place of resistance and lack and feeling that we are losing something by spending money, how can we get into a state of gratitude, and how can we get into the heart and look at the ripple effect that circulating money has in the economy? Our economy is built to circulate money. It comes in and it goes out. It's a constant flow. It's how businesses survive. It's how your business survives. It's how opportunities are created. And it's how value is simply exchanging between people. I have something to offer. You receive value. You pay me compensation. Money is an exchange of value. So anytime that we're spending money, how can we get grateful for the ability to have the money to purchase whatever it is that we're spending? How can we think of the ripple effect? And I always like to tap into and have the intention that that money is always flowing back to me. The third pattern that we talked about is underpricing our services. And in the previous videos, we touched on how this is directly related to our self-worth. And if we don't value the work that we are providing into the world and to our customers and clients, there's a tendency that we're going to underprice our services. And so there's a direct correlation between our self-worth and the pricing that we're offering to our clients. I'm not going to go deep into that. It was in video 1. Go check that out if you haven't checked that out yet. But the other thing is on receivership. So if we are underpricing our services and we don't feel like we are open and able to receive large amounts of money for our services, we are telling the universe, if we can't receive on this small scale, then I am not ready and willing to receive on a larger scale. Again, if we think about the mirror and how what is in our internal state is what is being reflected in our external reality. If internally we do not feel comfortable with receiving, if we do not feel comfortable for charging what our services are worth, that is telling the universe that in my external reality, I do not deserve, or I am not open to receiving large amounts of abundance. So we need to be comfortable with receiving large amounts, and charging what our services are valued at. So a couple practices for you in terms of this pattern is just start practicing receiving on a daily basis, even in the small micro moments of your day. So if somebody wants to buy you coffee, just say thank you. If somebody wants to pay for lunch, don't battle them over who's going to pay and fight, and say thank you. If somebody wants to give you a compliment, come on, ladies, this is a huge one. If somebody wants to tell you, I love the shirt that you're wearing today, or your hair looks beautiful today, or your eyes are gorgeous, whatever they want to say thank you so much, I received that compliment. We don't have to automatically go back to them and say, oh, I love your shirt too. Oh, I love your outfit too. You look amazing too. Just say thank you. Thank you, I receive. And just let that land. I receive. If you're getting on an airplane and you're putting your luggage up in the overhead bin and a man wants to help you lift it up and put it in, just don't say, no, I got it. I had to learn this so much in Egypt when I went to Egypt last year, because they definitely want to take care of you. And I'm definitely an independent woman. So this is something I'm constantly practicing myself. If a man wants to pick up your luggage and put it up in the overhead bin for you, say thank you so much. And then one question that I want you to sit with is, if I believe that the work that I offer to the world is valuable, Am I currently pricing my services at the value it provides? And then the last pattern that we talked about was the avoidance pattern. And like I said in the previous video, I think that most business owners that come to work with me have this pattern when they start out. It's probably one of the most common that I see. So reflect on this and see if you can relate to this in any way. Are you avoiding looking at your numbers, opening your bank account? Does it feel like scary to open your credit card balances? Does it feel scary to look at like how much you owe on your student loans? Are you avoiding spending, interacting with your money, receiving money, avoiding in any sort of way? This is a sign that you have a relationship problem with money. Going back to the first video that I recorded all about the relationship is if you were in a relationship with money and you were avoiding your partner like you have been avoiding money, would you have a healthy relationship? Would that relationship be sustainable? And the answer is no. We need a healthy relationship with money. That's how we grow, we expand, and we create more money in our life. We have to feel safe and comfortable interacting and having a relationship with it. And from a business aspect, and even in your personal life, you can't grow your business if you are avoiding looking at your numbers. It is probably the most important thing in business. And even in your personal life and your personal finances and trying to grow massive wealth, you have to look at your numbers. You have to have a relationship with them. And the thing that happens is in this pattern is the nervous system is avoiding the numbers because there's a threat. It feels unsafe. The thing is we think that by avoiding the numbers that we are avoiding and having any sort of pain or anxiety. But the thing is, it's actually causing more anxiety. You are creating more anxiety by not looking at your numbers. You think that you are avoiding the pain and the anxiety by avoiding looking at the numbers because you're scared of what they're going to say or show, but you're actually creating it. Think about it. If you never opened your bank account, never opened your credit cards, had no idea how much you owed on them, never looked at your loan balances, just said, nope, I'm not dealing with it. I don't know. It's too scary. I'm not looking at it. Do you think you would feel less anxious than if you were actually looking at them and you knew? Even if you don't like what the number shows when you log on to your bank account, at least you'll have some sort of comfort of knowing what is out there to tackle. You can create a plan of how to pay down your debt, pay off your loans. You can create a plan to cut down your spending, to actually notice what you're spending your money on and saying, okay, I don't think that's aligned with my values that we defined earlier. Avoiding your numbers is creating more anxiety. It's not keeping you away from it. And the practice that I have for you for this pattern is to do a money date. I recommend doing a money date once a week. You can sit down with your numbers, a half an hour to an hour every week, and just doing a check-in. Updating your bookkeeping if you have a bookkeeping software, if you're in business, looking at how much money came in, how much money went out, what did you spend money on, is it aligned with your values, make any payments, invoice any of your customers, anything related to your money, you do it in that money date. And what happens is when you're looking at your numbers, you can make financial decisions that are strategic. You can set up a plan in place. You can actually have data that helps you determine what decisions you need to make in your business. And if once a week feels way too scary, because sometimes this is very activating for people. If this is bringing up a lot of anxiousness, a lot of overwhelm, and it's like, Swellen, I cannot sit down for an hour. I cannot sit down for 30 minutes. I am so scared to open my bank account. I just want you to start small. Literally every morning when you start your workday, just log on, open your bank account, and just open it and just look at it. Don't need to do anything with it. Look at it, see the number, and close it. And just start regulating and feel comfortable just actually opening the bank account once a day. And so we'll start small. Just start opening the bank account. We're no longer avoiding it. We're just opening it. I know what the number is. And then I'm shutting the laptop and moving on. And then one thing that you can do that is fun is I love affirmations. And if you are like avoiding your numbers and it's like kind of scared, just start singing this affirmation to yourself. Like, I love money and money loves me. And just like, I don't know, walk around singing it, make it fun, make it just like joyful and happy, and just affirm to yourself that I love money and money loves me. Say it in the shower, sing it in the shower over and over and over again. Keep affirming to yourself that I love money. I love to have a relationship with money, and I know that money loves me back because I know that it's just a reflection of how I feel about it internally. So there you have it. Those are the 4 most common money patterns that I see over and over and over again with business owners, and practical steps of how you can start addressing those patterns if you see them in your own life. Let me know if any of this resonated. In the comments below, drop which one you are going to start shifting in your own business, in your own life this week. And next week, I have such a special breathwork journey planned for you guys. We are going to wrap up this 4-part series by letting it all go. The last 3 weeks, we have really focused on what our relationship with money really looks like, how our self-concept and our self-worth might be showing up as it relates to money, the patterns that we might be recognizing in our own life, maybe some resistance that's come up, these old stories and beliefs that we're ready to let go of. And we're going to do that all next week through a breathwork journey. We're going to release all these old stories, and we're going to call in our wealthiest, most abundant business and life yet. So I'm really excited for that. Hit subscribe so you don't miss it. I look forward to seeing you all there. Have an amazing week ahead, and I will talk to you all later. Bye.